Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Monday, the 16th day of May, 8th day of Iyar. Here we go. I want to talk a little bit about making early Shabbos. Everyone does, a lot of people do that at this time of the year. What that means basically is that if you would start Shabbos, with pretty much when the sun goes down, especially when you get into June, that means Shabbos is going to start like, I don't know, 8:15 or 8:30, and it starts to get really late. It means get home from shul at 9:30, 10, and the Shabbos meal starts so late, and the kids are tired and everything. So people make early Shabbos, but there are halachas that go along with early Shabbos that should not be ignored. For example, what if somebody wants to start early Shabbos way early, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when sundown is 8 o'clock? You're not allowed to do that. See, even when you make early Shabbos, you're only allowed to make early Shabbos within a halachic range that's still considered close to evening. And the way you find out that halachic range is it's 1.25 hours before sundown, but not exactly 1.25 hours. It's 1.25 halachic hours. Halachic hours are not always 60 minutes. A halachic hour is 1/12 of daylight time. So in this time of the year when the daylight time is more than 12 hours, so 1/12 of that, 1 hour, one halachic hour is more than 60 minutes. It's like sometimes 75 minutes, which we call a halachic hour at this time of the year. So the hour and the quarter halachically can be as much as sometimes an hour and a half before Shabbos, depending on what time of the year you're in, and that's when you're allowed to extend Shabbos out until. So if Shabbos would have taken place at, let's say, at 8:15, then you can make it as early as 7 o'clock. If it would have happened at 8, then you can make it 6:45, something like that. Don't hold me to that exactly, but you have to find out what the Shazmanios time is for that time of the year. In other words, how long is a halachic hour at that time of the year, and get an hour and a half of that, an hour and a quarter of that, which is about an hour and a half, and that's how early you can make Shabbos, okay? Not earlier. Now, other things that go along halachically with making an early Shabbos are considerations like this. You know, that means that it's when you daven mincha, the sun's going to be out, and when you daven marav, the sun's also going to be out, and that's weird. Usually, we like to have mincha before the sun goes down and marav after the sun goes down, or marav after the stars come out. We don't like to have mincha marav in the same time frame. And here you are. Oh my gosh, look at this. Mincha Marav are both being, one is the afternoon prayer, one is the evening prayer, and they're both being said in the same time of the day. So what we like to do, if possible, is to have Mincha before some demarcation line and Marav after the demarcation line, and they make that demarcation line Plag HaMincha, a special time that's called you can call it the half mincha. It's halachically a little bit complicated, but you go look up on a good Jewish calendar when Plag HaMincha is. It may be around, let's say, 6:45 or 7, and you try to make mincha before Plag and Marav after Plag, so that they each happen in two different time parts of the day. The mincha part happened in a part that can be arguably called afternoon, and the Marav part happened in a part of the day that could arguably be called evening. Not everyone holds that you have to do that. All those shuls that fix it at early Shabbos starts 7 o'clock mincha all summer long. Obviously, if they're locked on 7 o'clock exactly the whole summer, they're not doing that. They're saying, as many do, that you're allowed to be lenient on this matter and have mincha and marav on, sort of in the same time frame, as long as one is before you've accepted Shabbos and one is after you've accepted Shabbos. That's what a lot of shuls allow. If you ever see a shul that announces the early mincha time and it changes every Friday, that's because what they're doing is they're making the mincha before that line called Plag HaMincha, and they're making marav after that line called Plag HaMincha. Either way, when you accept Shabbos, it's Shabbos. So, like, on the way home, you can't just do a quick malacha, because if you have accepted Shabbos at shul and you did the whole spiel and daven marav and said, all the Shabbos stuff, then it's Shabbos for you, for real. I mean, you could ask a Jewish person who has not accepted Shabbos to still do something for you because he hasn't accepted Shabbos, but in all other ways, it's Shabbos, and you cannot be doing any malacha after you've accepted early Shabbos. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.